Welcome, everybody. Hey, I'm Rolf, Horizen co-founder. We're going to talk today about the upcoming halving of Zen, what it means, what it doesn't mean, look back to a little bit of history on what we've done in the past, kind of where we've gotten to today. If you're watching this on YouTube or on x.com, please ask questions. Happy to riff on any questions or anything like that. I'll share a few navigate you through how we're doing things these days, and also just kind of celebrate a halving, especially a second halving. That means that our protocol has been up and running for 8 years. That's because this protocol started in 2016. We did the official launch. I'm wearing my t-shirt from the launch party in May of 2017, and that's when we started talking about what our vision was, what our goal is, what we're looking to do. And we've still got a really strong worldwide community that supports us, that still believes in all the different things that we're looking to accomplish. So let me start out with a little bit of navigation for y'all, and we can go through and see what it is that we're doing here. So first off, a lot of people in any kind of new industry, there's a lot of people that enter it. They enter the industry as it grows. And so the people that enter the industry at different times have different perspectives. And so I first got into this industry, started reading about Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies on Slashdot back when I was running my IT company. Didn't have time to do anything with it until about 2015 when I started doing Bitcoin and GPU mining. And I could see as a business owner that Bitcoin was really cool because you could have permissionless banking. But also as a business owner, I knew that we were in a constant state of competition with all our competitors. And I certainly didn't want any of them to see what it is that we paid for our suppliers, what we paid our employees, that kind of stuff. So I knew there had to be some element of privacy. And that was the idea that we started out Horizen with. So I'm going to share this handy Horizen halving website. And so this is what I use to see when the actual halving is going to start. And it's 1 day and 8 hours from now. So when this happens, and it looks like it's going to happen tomorrow around 5 p.m. Eastern, we're going to get back on and have a full up, celebration, kind of like a New Year's celebration. But this gives you some statistics that shows what it is that how many blocks there are, how much Zen has been generated. So Zen follows the same emissions curve as Bitcoin. And in any type of system like Bitcoin or Horizen or Ethereum, you have to create new tokens. You have to create new coins. And then these coins have to be distributed somehow. And the people that you distribute your coins to, you got to incentivize them to use them so that your cryptocurrency has an actual purpose. When people ask me who the biggest competitor was, back in 2017, 2018, as we were growing and letting people know about Zen, I always answered that we didn't have competitors. In a rapidly growing, rapidly changing environment, there's not really competition. There's people that are coming up with different ways to carve out the solution to the puzzle. And the initial puzzle was for payments. As anybody who has tried to do things internationally knows, it's difficult to transfer value from one country to another. You end up having to go through banks, and you have to have permission to have a bank account. So Bitcoin, with the idea of having permissionless ways of transferring value, was revolutionary. Now, Bitcoin was the first one that actually worked. And that was the interesting thing, because people have been trying to do alternate payment systems, since the 1970s and 1980s, but they were always centralized. And as they grew in importance, and you can see this in the history of Bitcoin, the banks and the governments were able to shut them down. So Bitcoin came up with a different idea of using the proof of work, using mining to reduce the ability for centralization to happen and to have everybody agree on a single ledger of truth. So when we started Horizen, which we started out as Zen Cash, because we basically copied Zcash's code base because it had this really cool private payment system using ZK proofs. We knew that we had to, we wanted to use something that worked. So back at that time, proof of work, having miners mine and use electric power to be able to create the security of the system was really important because we knew it worked. Proof of stake was really important back then. And tokenomics wasn't as advanced as it is now. Gosh, tokenomics has turned into almost a financial science of its own in creation of new cryptocurrencies these days. I was just chatting with Rob, Rob and I co-founded Horizen along with a few other people, and we're still active. He's CEO of Horizen Labs, continue to develop all sorts of advancements for Horizen and other cryptocurrencies as we go along. And the state of the industry has advanced so far. I saw this when I was working for Cisco Systems and in the IT industry. As the voice over IP technology grew, it starts out with a few people that are happy to go against the grain and try something new. And then as their success happens, more and more people with great business experience, with great ideas, with more well-researched and a track record of success come into the industry. They learn how to do it, and then they take it to the next level. So certainly see that happening in the cryptocurrency industry these days. So if you want to get an idea of what Horizen is like now, you can check out our Horizen website. So we will, let me share what the website looks like now, and I'll navigate you through what we currently have from a standpoint of governance. So governance is one of those things that isn't really important until it is. And it's really important because it's an aspect of preventing the centralization and overall control of the cryptocurrency. So when we first started out, we had three main ideas. And three main ideas are that we knew that zero knowledge proofs were really important to cryptocurrency. When we first started out, we used those zero knowledge proofs to have private payments as well as transparent payments. We learned over the years that the regulatory bodies really didn't like having the base layer of the protocol have the ability to do private payments. We saw that we would get delisted from exchanges. This especially happened in Korea. It happened in other places too. And since we have worldwide supporters and we listen to all the people that are in the community all over the world, the community had a vote and decided to take that basic level of private payments out of Horizen. And that happened completely about a year ago. And that was a big change. Now, why did the community get to have that vote and make that decision? Well, that's because one of the second things that we decided that we wanted to do when we started was to have it be a community-owned and community-governed protocol. So first thing was to be able to have zero knowledge proofs for some form of private transactions. And we've found over the years, it's great to have regulatory compliant private transactions so that people can actually use your cryptocurrency to do payments. Second thing is that community governance was really important. So the way we were able to do it then was to start with having the ownership of the protocol, the keys to the GitHub and everything else owned by a nonprofit foundation. We set up the Zen Blockchain Foundation and had a board, and that was what owned Horizen and controlled it. So as cryptocurrency capabilities advanced, we were able to, because the Horizen Labs team is really good at ZK, at software development, at running blockchains, at keeping the blockchains running. So over the years, one of the strong ideas was to create a ZK-based sidechain capability. This was called Zen-Do. It's a validity sidechain. And there's a nice write-up about it actually in bitcoinrollups.org. I think it's Appendix 4, where the idea of having a zero-knowledge prove the state of the side chain and have the main chain provide security was really an early version of ZK rollups. And we kind of missed the market window on that, and it was a little bit more complex to develop. But we actually have Zen-Do in production because what we did was our software development team created a custom Ethereum virtual machine. So it wasn't based on any other, it's pretty much the only version of the Ethereum virtual machine. We call it Horizen Eon. And Zen now can go between our proof of work main chain, and I've been able to do this for a year and a half now, our proof of work main chain and our EVM side chain. And that EVM sidechain, Horizen Eon, connects to all the rest of the Web3 space. So we've got connection to Ethereum, to Arbitrum, to Optimism through Layer 0 Bridge, which is really neat. But the big thing that was important to me from having a smart contracting part of Horizen was we could actually do voting based upon Zen ownership. So let me show you the tab that we use for voting. So if you go to, right now we do it on Snapshot. And so on Snapshot, you're able to vote, and we've been having votes for a while. All sorts of really important issues. You have your Zen on Eon, and you can also delegate your Zen that's on main chain, and all the Zen that you own counts towards the vote. So if we look at one of the recent votes that we had, which was the technical roadmap of migration of Zen and Eon. So let me share that tab. So we had 846 votes. We had many people that voted for it, very few people that voted against it. This recent vote was in June. And it talked about the all sorts of very specific things. So this is a community governed protocol. And if you want to make a proposal, you can go to the Horizen discourse and you can start talking to people about it. Some of these conversations also happen in our Telegram channel and our Discord channel. One of the things that I recently posted an article about was to say, hey, there's a special counsel. So because Horizen actually is a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, and this DAO is incorporated in Cayman Islands, which has legal structures to allow organizations like Horizen to have a DAO and exist. It has to have a foundation, and that foundation is the one that implements the expressed will of the DAO. That foundation is also a Cayman Island foundation. So by being able to vote and have the DAO express the opinion of the holders of Zen and take that into action as part of foundation, we can make a lot of changes. And there's a lot of improvements happening. If you look at the Horizen website, you can see that we're going to go through a huge technical migration, probably end of March, early April. And this technical migration has been voted on, it's approved, and it's really exciting because it brings a lot of capabilities and puts in place a lot of the things that people have been asking for. So over the years, people have been recommending that we move from proof of work to proof of stake. And we kind of waited because it takes a little while to figure out whether proof of stake was going to be actually secure. What we're doing, and I'm going to bring our product manager for Horizen 2, Dom, in here in a minute to talk about it and ask some questions about it. But we're building Horizen 2 as proof of stake EVM with ZK extensions. And so zero knowledge proof extension. So I talked about when we first started, zero knowledge proofs was very important. Second thing is that community governance was really important. We've implemented that. And when we go to Horizen 2, we're going to be able to use the advanced governance features of the substrate blockchain framework, same type of governance that Polkadot has implemented, because Polkadot created the substrate blockchain framework. And then the third main element that we started out with was that we wanted people to use Zen and to be able to make money on Zen. Because one of the things that keeps a protocol running, and I'll get back to, people would ask me what our biggest competitor was. Our biggest competitor was that people didn't care that we existed. So you have to have a why. You have to have a purpose to exist. So sometimes people look for that why in who are the people behind the protocol, or what is their stated objectives. So to me, the third major thing is that people are able to make money on Zen. And when we first started out, people are able to make money using staking. And people are able to make money creating applications around it. But since it was a UTXO protocol primarily designed for transactions, there wasn't as much flexibility. Now that we have Horizen Eon, there's Web3 applications running on it. And when we go to Horizen 2, we're going to have lots of applications that we're going to be able to do, because we're having a tokenomics change when we migrate to Horizen 2. I'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm going to bring Dom on here in just a second, and we can talk a little bit more about what Horizen 2 looks like, what the path to getting there is, what the progress is, and some of the things. So Dom, I'm going to bring you onto stage right now. I want to introduce Dom. Dom's the product manager, and you're on stage now, Dom, so you can unmute. So welcome. Where are you calling from?
Hey guys, I'm based in Miami. So one of the reasons why I moved down here too is because it has a great crypto community. But happy to be talking about tokenomics and halving and Horizen 2. So I think the first thing that we should note is that, Horizen is essentially morphing into this EVM that is, ZK capable, I guess you would say. One of the things that we wanted to do with bringing Horizen to new stack is obviously utilize proof of stake, just because a smart contracting platform we believed would be more performant for that purpose. Normally with with proof of stake consensus mechanisms, the tokenomics is normally inflationary, but our community was very adamant about keeping the token supply intact. So I think we're quite unique in the sense that we don't have an inflationary token. We have kept the 21 million token supply with the strategic vision that we proposed to the community for tokenomics. I think we put together a tokenomic strategy that would bring success and gear us up for success. So
let me jump in and give people a high-level picture of the tokenomics. So the reason we're celebrate the halving is that of the 21 million Zen, they're all emitted through, just like Bitcoin, through mining. So every block, there's a certain number of Zen that's created, and they're paid out to the miners. And that goes to the mining pool, and then the people that are mining Zen can send it to the exchange, and they can sell it. Part of that, one of the differences for Zen, is that only 60% goes to miners. 40% is used for other purposes currently. So of that 40%, 20% of the overall block that's mined goes to the DAO to be able to use to grow and improve the protocol. And 20% goes to stakers. So these are people that own Zen, that stake them at nodes, either super nodes or forger nodes, and they get paid Zen to help maintain the security of the system. So one of the reasons we can change tokenomics is we're going at full proof of stake. So after the technology transition, there's going to be no more miners. But there's also going to be a change in the way that the rest of the Zen, I think we're at like 16 million Zen that's been created and distributed so far. And like Dom said, there's only going to be 21 million. And so we need to have a way to create and distribute the rest of that Zen. So one of it is we're going to pay it out to stakers that are going to stake on Horizon 2. Can you talk about how much of the Zen is going to be paid out to stakers, how it compares to now, and then what we mean by the emission curve, Don?
Yeah, so there's essentially a couple of different buckets for where the rest of the Zen is going to be apportioned to. So moving forward, we're going to keep the same schedule of delivering block rewards, right? So like every block rewards would be delivered to people who participate in the security of the network. So what we call those nodes that participate are called collator nodes, and this is related to the infrastructure that we chose, which is a substrate-based blockchain. So collators are essentially nodes that prepare blocks, and they contribute to the security of the network. So 40% of the block reward will be going to collators. And that will be until following the same schedule for how the token would have been distributed under the previous timeline. So just to talk a little bit about the buckets as well. So 40% will go to collators, 32.5% will go to the foundation, and the rest will go to the treasury. Now that was strategically, those numbers were strategically chosen to basically set us up for success. So before I get into, how the treasury would use that allocation and how it's going to be delivered to the community, I think it's important to understand how the emission schedule works. So we wanted to move away from the halving schedule that we currently have. The reason for that is there was a multitude amount of reasons for why we did that. The first is that there is a lot of speculation around halving events. I think people generally have they play a big guessing game as to what happens or what's going to happen once something halves. Will stakers leave? Will miners leave? Will the price jump? Will the price crash? So what we wanted to do is implement a smoother curve. So everything really slopes down, even with like a long halving period. But what we wanted to do is just bring that into a more stable, smooth curve down. So essentially, instead of there being a halving schedule every, certain amount of time, where like say 6 tokens were delivered, and then after a year or two, then it goes down to 3. What's going to happen is that every block or almost every epoch, stakers will receive a slightly less reward than before. So it would be something like going from 6 to like 5.89 or something like that, right? And the purpose for doing that is for a couple of reasons. First, it reduces like this speculation around the halving schedule. So people who are committed to the network are ultimately committed to it for the reasons that we want, which is that they want to be part of the network. They want to support the security of the ecosystem. It reduces the amount of speculation that is assigned to that. The other thing that we think it does as well is that it brings more committed people to the network. So it furthers the growth, and it reduces the ability to kind of, gamify the reward structure. So
let me jump in on this now. I'm going to share briefly where people can see a lot more details about this. So this was the tokenomics. You can go look on this on Snapshot. You can find this from the discourse that I shared before. So right now, like I said earlier, 20% of the emission goes to stakers for supernodes and EON Forger rewards. That's going to get cut in half tomorrow. But then when the new tokenomics get put in place, it's going to double again. So the amount of Zen that's paid out for each new block is going to remain the same as it is now, after the transition happens. And so we call these collators or validators. And then there's a other change, and you can read about this in the tokenomics. And I wanted to talk about this so we can understand just the clarity of it. It's when we create the entire new, when we move over to just proof of stake on the new substrate blockchain and make the transition. And this is a really technical transition. So Dom's working with developers to figure this out, bring up the test net. There's going to be a claim portal because we're taking an EVM and a UTXO blockchain and merging those into one new EVM blockchain, with the important thing making sure that everybody who owns Zen now is going to have the ability to have their Zen on the new blockchain. But so one of the things that, Dom, that you did with the tokenomics design is you're bringing the tokenomics into more modern type things. So I see one of the questions on x.com here is people are asking, am I just working on a new protocol, this ZK proof verification protocol? No. So I'm actually working for the Horizen Foundation directly now. I am also working for the ZK Verify Foundation directly, but I'm working directly for the foundation. I'm no longer working for Horizen Labs. So my goal is to ensure the success of Horizen. I spend a lot of time working on that. And one of the things in working with ZK Verify that we're seeing is tokenomics design these days is really designed to optimize the success of the protocol. There's sources, there's sinks, there's inflation, there's all sorts of different things. Dom already said that we have a guaranteed cap of 21 million, which makes this a deflationary protocol. It's an OG protocol based on that design. It's very different than a lot of the cryptocurrencies. But one of the things, in order to run an EVM, there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be paid for and maintained. And to get applications running on the EVM, we have a special EVM, and they get users using those applications, we have to have tokens to be able to incentivize people to do this through developer activities, through user activities, and through grants programs. So, Dom, can you talk about when we are creating the new Genesis block of this, of Horizen 2, I might not be saying that quite right, but how we're enabling the Horizen DAO to have Zen to be able to do these activities?
Yeah, so the other part of the tokenomics design is not only the changing of the halving schedule, but we really wanted to make sure that the Horizen community was set up for success. So if we take the 40% of existing tokens that are to be distributed through block rewards, that is going to follow the same time schedule that it would have normally otherwise have. Now, for the rest of the 60% of tokens that would be in existence, we are actually like front loading their creation and delivering them to two entities. So the Horizen Foundation will get an allotment, and so will be delivered to the Treasury. Now, instead of having like a block emission schedule, what will happen is that 25% of that 60% will be given to the foundation and the Treasury at Genesis. And then it will vest. The rest of that 60% will vest over the next 4 years. So the reason why we wanted to do that is because we are in a very competitive space, and we want to start investing into projects, right? The previous blockchain really had only one singular function, right? Which was to be able to send value transfer to anyone in a private manner. In this instance, what we're doing is we're creating like a smart contract ecosystem where we want people to come and build dApps. So what we like to do, what we would ask the community to do with that allotment is, now that they have this 25% initially at Genesis, and then the amount is investing over the next 4 years, they will have the capital needed to invest into projects. So we've proposed setting that capital up into different funds, and what we'd like to see is for us to have what we call a sustainability fund. So a sustainability fund is to invest in like very serious ZK projects that the community would vote on, and they would basically fund the creation of new projects that are, ZK decentralized applications, of which we would enter into partnerships with various projects, of which we would receive a return on our investment. So it would be up to the community to create these relationships and set us up for success in the future. So what we did was we wanted to essentially maintain the existing supply, but also give the community the ability to really entice people to build on the ecosystem. So that's the other side of the tokenomics infrastructure that's going to be implemented on Horizen.
Well, that's really helpful, Dom. So just about wrapped up with talking with you, Dom, because we got some videos to share and other stuff like that. But and these numbers aren't exactly correct. But let me talk a little bit to what Dom was saying. So I always look at things from like a business owner perspective. How do you keep your business up and operational? And that means you need to bring in more revenue than you pay out. And I know that's a simplistic way of looking at things from a blockchain standpoint. But we want to have the Horizen DAO and the Horizen Foundation continue to exist and stay funded and able to provide security for Horizen forever. So what we need to do is make sure that there's paths to have revenue coming in. So because the emissions curve goes down, there is some revenue that comes into stakers to provide security, and that's going to continue. But part of that that goes to stakers is also transaction fees. And so longer term transaction fees are what comes in and pays the stakers that provide security and the Horizen DAO. So Horizen DAO is going to be staking the Zen that it has to be able to get those transaction fees. But we also, because of it's going to be an EVM, but an EVM with some very special extensions. And these extensions are going to enable applications to run, so smart contract apps to run on Horizen that really don't have any other place that they can run. And so we think that we're going to be able to really increase the amount of transactions happening on the blockchain and be able to increase those transaction fees. So that's the base level of sustainability. And so, like I said earlier, we've been in the ZK space for a while. And so our cryptographers and our developers have contributed to and noticed the increasing capabilities of zero-knowledge proofs over the years. And we're kind of hitting a cusp where it's much more straightforward to develop ZK applications, but there's still a problem in that a lot of the applications need public verification, and that public verification is a very small, limited window. It's based upon what Ethereum put in place back in 2017, a precompile for one elliptic curve. If you know anything about zero-knowledge proofs, there's multiple elliptic curves. There's multiple new ideas coming out of Ethereum like Binius and CircleStark. And then StarkNet has created all these Starks. So lots of different ways of doing zero-knowledge proofs, but there's still no straightforward, inexpensive way to verify these proofs, especially on a smart contracting platform. So that's the new and different and unique thing that Horizen is going to have. Can you talk, Dom, a little bit about some of these ZK extensions that we're going to be having on Horizen 2 and what that means to application developers and users?
Yeah, so the entire purpose of Horizen 2 is to leverage ZK within decentralized apps. Um, Up till now, that has been like quite limited. There are various ways in which that problem is trying to be solved in the market right now. So, like, there are blockchains out there that leverage proof aggregation. There are ones that leverage L2 infrastructure to reduce cost. The reason is because existing EVMs or Ethereum are quite limited in what ZK primitives they could uh, utilize within their applications. And ZK requires pretty heavy computation. So what we have done is, by attaching ourselves to ZK Verify, both of these blockchains are purpose built for ZK. So what we do is we have the ability to verify uh, a vast number of different types of proofs, and the blockchain on its low level has been built for that purpose in order to uh, verify proofs of very different sorts, while also keeping the computational overhead for gas costs quite low, because the blockchain itself is built really for that purpose, and we don't have to um, basically write the code around that feature, which is sort of what other uh, uh, other blockchains are trying to do. So because we have that singular focus and the chain was purposely built for ZK, we were able to optimize it for these very specific things.
So
So
let's talk a little bit about what some of these things are. And so we've looked into some of these new ZK proofs. You're going to be able to create mobile apps that can generate a proof in seconds and verify it for pennies. So everybody thinks of ZK as slow and expensive and only usable for infrastructure right now, but we're going to have it available for all sorts of different applications, Web3 applications running on Horizen. And that's one of the big things that's going to bring us to success, is we're going to work closely with developers to develop these Web3 apps that have these ZK extensions natively using these new zero knowledge proofs. Dom, I'm getting the word that I've got to play some of these videos. So thank you for coming on and explaining some of the technical details of it. Really appreciate it.
bye, guys. Nice speaking
Thanks.
to everybody.
Thanks. Got Brian Nolan, marketing manager, helping out here. He's got some videos that he wants to roll. Brian, can you roll your first video here? I'm not even sure how we do this, but let's see. Nope, I don't think we have sound. Yep, you got to click on the sound there. It says it's muted. Well, so while you're figuring that out, if you go back to where it looks like it's muted to me anyway. So Don was talking about, okay, how are we going to actually get the funds to be able to pay for all these things? So if you go and look at that, I'm going to pull this off while you're figuring that out, Brian. Sorry about that. But we do need sound with the videos. So the amount of funds that are going to be provided to the Horizen DAO immediately on the transition to the new upgrade is 750,000 Zen. That's going to be provided to the DAO. Now, that's not all going to be spent right away. And then the other, so there's about 3 million Zen that are going to be designated to go to the DAO. So the first 750,000 can be made available right away, and then the rest are going to be made available over the next 4 years. But this is all the Zen that has to last. So we're going to kind of spin up a flywheel of staking, of other types of activity to generate applications that people use. And some people, zero knowledge proofs are kind of like esoteric moon math to a lot of people. And I have to mute it for it to play, is what Brian says. All right, so we're gonna try this again. So I'll mute, and then we'll try playing this video again. To me, it looked like the video had the little cross through the icon there, and Brian needs to go to where the video is playing and unmute it there. But we're using this StreamYard technology, and yesterday it didn't work at all. So glad that you all.
Hi everyone, this is Guan speaking from Southwest China. I've been following Horizen since 2017. The reason why I'm following Horizen for such a long time is that because I trust the Horizen team. I mean, the project's really been through a lot during those 7 years, but the Horizen team can always find the best solutions to overcome those difficulties. It's an anti-fragile team. The team also cares about our community, cares about privacy, cares about decentralization. You can always trust the Horizen team at any circumstances. It's a team with honesty. It's a team with integrity. I mean, it's decent people. I really love them. And happy the final and the last then Halving. Bye everyone.
Thanks, Juan. That was great. It was great meeting you 2 years ago in Milan when we had the ZenCon 0 and celebrated all the different things in there. And so, Brian, you can pop in a video whenever you want.
What is going on, everybody? It is DeFi Zoo Racer here, coming to give a big shout out to Horizen HODL Zen. I have been in the Zen Cache, which is the legacy asset, which was originally a fork of Z Classic back in 2017. I was mining Zen Cache, and I've been in the community since they were holding bi-weekly dev chats in the Slack channels, and then moved over to Discord, and I've hung around the entire time. Yes, I've been in, out, and here and there and the other thing. That's just the way it goes in crypto, but still supporting Zen, supporting the future. Their halving is coming up on Thursday. Horizen 2.0 right around the corner. ZK Verify mainnet right around the corner. There's already been announcements that Binance is going to support the upcoming hard fork for Horizen 2.0. That is coming soon. I would expect to see a lot more exchanges also having similar announcements. So definitely we'll be looking forward to that. There's a whole new rebranding and design with the sunrise and the yellow Horizen. So I got the old school branding on here. I got the faded Horizen swag. That just shows, my hat's faded. I've worn this a ton, but I still got it. We're still rocking it. We got Horizen and rocking it since Zen Cache. So just want to give the whole Horizen team and community and everyone from Horizen Labs, ZK Verify, Horizen Labs Ventures, and all the partners and everyone in the community. I just want to give everyone a shout out. It takes a lot of resilience to literally survive through 2 entire market cycles and still be here building. So that is very commendable. It deserves recognition. And literally, Rob and Rolf are still here every single day, and they've been in the trenches for coming on 8 years now. So big shout out to Horizen. Their halving is coming up this Thursday, and there's lots more to come for Horizen. So definitely check out everything going on with Horizen Global, Horizen Labs, ZK Verify, and everybody supporting Horizen and all those projects. You'll be seeing a lot more from me. I posted some articles recently, just kind of giving some general recaps on the Horizen ecosystem, but we'll definitely be looking forward to diving in more once the transition over from Eon and moving away from the proof of work chain and moving into Horizen 2.0 in 2025. So definitely just want to give everyone from the Horizen ecosystem a big shout out from DeFi Zoo Racer, because you guys are awesome. And I don't think I would be in the crypto rabbit hole without finding Zencash originally. Maybe I would have fallen in some other rabbit hole and not been here. So thanks, Zen. You're the best.
Thanks, DeFi Z Racer. Really appreciate the kind words. Yeah, Rob and I are still here. We still enjoying this. Horizen's been continuing to improve over time, and so the biggest change is coming up soon. So you did bring up something that's really important. As we go through this change to Horizen 2.0, the support of the exchanges is really important. And working as the growth lead for the Horizen Foundation, that's one of the things that's top of my agenda. So we've already reached out to, I think Zen is listed on 25 different exchanges, including Binance and Coinbase. We have a lot of exchanges that we're listed on. And even though we were delisted last year because of being a privacy coin from some of the Korean exchanges and some of the other Chinese exchanges like Upbit and OKX, we're working hard to get back onto those exchanges. So that is a priority. That's one of the things that our community members are always talking about. As we're going through this process of talking to exchanges, one of the things that's really important to the exchanges that they've expressed to us is that we have the proper system set up to look out for all the Zen holders. And of course, we're planning on that, but some of the specifics of it is Horizen 2 is going to be brought up in the testnet, probably around the middle of January, and we're building a website where people are going to be able to claim their Zen on Horizen 2. So these are two key things that we're going to demonstrate to exchanges. And not only are we going to have the testnet up and running and the claim portal, those are going to go through security reviews. Security reviews are one of those things that has to be done for blockchains these days. Yes, they are expensive. And yes, it's important to make sure that you don't have any security holes in your protocols that'll cause issues. So as we progress through those and demonstrate to the exchanges the fitness of what it is that we're doing, we're in parallel going to create a web page on the Horizen web page that lists all the exchanges and links to where they say they're going to support Zen. In the transition to Horizen 2.0. We've already had all these preliminary conversations. Everybody said it looks good. You know, we've been working with you for years. And we know that your development team does things the right way. So, but until we have those actual things in writing, we don't promise things that until we have the commitments, and that's part of one of the things that's allowed us to stay around and thrive as we have realistic expectations. We share the goals of what we're trying to do. We share the vision, and we really listen to the community. I mean, one of the things that Rob did much earlier this year as we were going through and trying to figure out the best path forward was he flew out to Hong Kong and met with some of the people that have a lot of Zen. They have a lot of Zen. They hold a lot of Zen. They believe in us, and they expressed their opinion of, hey, yes, we support that you're going to change and get new technology, but you need to move as fast as possible. I see it right now. Everybody's pretty excited about all the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin prices going up. And if you've been in this space, like DeFi Z Racer just mentioned for a while, there are some ups and downs. And so we need to make sure that we do well during the ups, and we make sure that we have everything set up to continue to move along in the downs. So far, we've been through multiple cycles, and we're still here, and we're continuing to build. So I'm going to ask Brian to roll the next video, and I'm going to let him surprise me. Oh, we don't have sound on that one. Oh man, no. We'll do this next time. Maybe we can run. I know. We'll get that video tested, and when we do the actual live stream of the actual happening, we'll play your video then, so you'll be able to get that. We do have another special video coming up.
Hello, OG Horizen community. Congratulations for nearing our last and final halving event for Zen. It's a really big deal for a lot of different ways. In particular, we're going to be going into our Horizen 2 new tokenomics early next year. So there's a lot on the horizon to be excited about. But I will say from a personal perspective, being part of this project literally from the beginning, it's really humbling to see how far we've come and the fact that we've constantly innovated to the point now that we're actually circling back to accomplish the original vision, the original mission that we took out for ourselves on building a platform where people can actually cultivate privacy-oriented applications. So I'm super pumped. We have modern technology, modern tokenomics, all going live and resulting in the last halving event. So congratulations, Horizen community. Let's keep rocking.
Thanks. That was a great message from Rob. Totally agree. Rob and I are excited to be working together doing this stuff. This feels like the first year, first couple of years of when we were growing Horizen. We have so many new things happening, and I'm really excited to be working directly for the foundation, specifically working on growth. That's really one of the strengths that I've got, is to be able to look at what it is that we can do. And so to me, looking at this from a first principles type thing is we need to let everybody know about all the changes. We need to get applications developed that people are going to be used. Then we need to get people to use applications, and then we need to refine them. Now, I want to talk briefly about governance. I mentioned governance earlier, and governance is really, really important. So when we moved from the Zen Blockchain Foundation, which was the original nonprofit, over to the Cayman Islands-based Horizen DAO and Foundation structure a year and a half ago when we implemented Horizen Eon, that gave us the ability to have much stronger governance. So proposals are proposed, they're voted on, and then they're implemented by the foundation. As part of that, and you can look here in the docs.horizen.io to see the specifics of it, there is a constitution that we follow. So we have democratic structures that ensure that there is representation, that things are done the right way, and we follow those. One of the important structures that we have is the Horizen Special Council. And when we started out the Special Council, Rob recruited a number of leaders in the space to serve on this 7-person Special Council. And it's a very important role. So we have a briefing from the foundation to the Special Council on everything that's going on and everything that's working on, and are able to get good information and feedback and recommendations from that. And anytime there's a Zen IP that's passed, the Special Council needs to look through the implementation of that Zen IP and see, okay, what are the financial implications? Can we afford it? And what are the technical implementation? Can we afford to implement it technically? And if it passes, there's probably a few more specific things written in the Constitution. But that's how I think about it. I kind of think about things in simple things. So the Special Council is there to make sure that the Zen IPs that are passed, that are expressing the will of the community, can actually be implemented and can actually be afforded. Well, part of the governance structures that we set up was to have the ability for the community to vote in new members of this Special Council. So this happens every 6 months. So on February 15th, a vote is held to possibly replace 4 of the members of the Special Council. And then in August, I think it's August, 3. And we go through this every year. Now, if there's no vote proposal, then the people that serve on the Special Council continue to serve. Of course, there's things like if someone leaves the Special Council, we can hold a vote to add someone in there. So we've had a discussion in discourse, but I'm asking you people, you members of the Horizen community, you people that have been with us for a long time, that care about the advancements and the improvements and making things better, think about serving on the special council. It is not a lot of work. It's important, and we really want people there who care about the protocol. You don't have to be super technical. You don't have to be super involved. You do kind of need to be involved, but you don't need to be super involved and out in front of everybody and talking like that. Over the last year, none of y'all have seen the special council people get up and talk about things. So the process for becoming a candidate for the special council is just like any other Zen IP. So each person gets a vote. So you have to propose that there's going to be a vote to add you to the special council. So I would love to see at least 4 candidates for the special council. I would love to see even more. And so for each of these people, make a discourse post, chat with people in the Discord, chat with people in the Telegram, make a discourse post, and I have a guideline of what to say already there, of who you are, why it is that you want to be part of the special council, what's important to you, what your experience is, and what you'd like to see Horizen do. And then ask people to pledge Zen to you so that you can propose a vote. You just need to get people to propose, to delegate 25,000 Zen to you to be able to vote. And if you have a good candidacy, I'm sure people will delegate Zen to you to have the vote. And then you work to get as many votes as possible when the vote happens on February 15th. The people that have the most votes that pass get put on the special council. And then, me and the rest of the foundation team will update you on things that are going on. We'll talk to you about Zen IPs. You continue talking with the community about and being the community voice for action. So I think we've got a really good setup here. Like I said, the vote happens February 15th, so people need to start now letting everybody else know that you want to be on the special council, and would really, really, really love to see our community continue to participate in this. So to summarize, we got the halving coming up tomorrow. We're going to be back on a live stream to celebrate that briefly tomorrow. And if there's any other videos, we'll play them. We've got a lot of improvements coming from a standpoint of governance, technology, funding. It feels like a whole new day with Horizen 2. And I love the new website and I love the new colors. So going to sign off. Thank you very much for joining and looking forward to continue to talking with you more in the future.